Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a squat and deadlift day. I'm very happy with today's workout. So I went ahead and recorded all but one of my warm-up sets here for you guys, because people sometimes ask what I do to warm up. I did one rep on the squat before the camera started rolling. So working with the SSB, again, what I'm doing, I'm just going to work the SSB up, get stronger at it, and eventually go back to my straight bar when I get closer to meets. For me, I find there's full carryover, so even with the worst grip and bar placement possible, I will always be able to back squat what I can squat on an SSB or more. So again, this allows me to do that while keeping my shoulders healthy, which is really the key for my bench press. And it's mainly because getting into any sort of low bar position is just tough on my shoulders at 46. And shoulder health is the key for me to getting my bench press up. It's just something I have to pay close attention to. So that's one reason my bench has been climbing, is because my shoulders don't hurt at all. Nothing, because I'm taking care of those things. Deadlifts, we got a solid rep PR, 555 or 5 reps. Again, very happy with this. This represents probably about the highest deadlift I've had in a long time as far as rep calculators go. Now, again, rep calculators are particularly inaccurate on deadlifts in my experience. Right, out of all the lifts, it's the least predictable in terms of that, mainly because for me, there's stabilization things with my upper body. There's grip to deal with. So it might suggest that my primary movers are capable of that. But it doesn't mean I can grip it. It doesn't mean I can hold it in the correct position. So again, we'll find out where I'm at later. But in the meantime, as long as I build those things up and get stronger and stronger at the heavier rep work, invariably my max will go up. But we're well up into the 600s at this point, any way you break it down, right? Any calculation you use. So I feel confident that I'm pretty much knocking on the door of a deadlift PR at this point. Again, barring the context of grip strength and the ability to lock it in and hold it in position with my lats. So again, we'll find out as we get there, but I'm continuing to work on those things, particularly on my upper body days. I'm putting a great deal of effort into those. We're doing a lot of rowing. We're doing, things to help with my grip. Even my curls carry over to my grip training. So I'm hoping that will all pay off eventually when I start hitting some maxes again, and we'll see something big like 640, 650, something like that, or maybe more if I get lucky. I would like to eventually, the goal is to get to a 700 deadlift, but for me to get there, the grip training, the grip strength, all that stuff is going to have to come up tremendously, because for me that tends to be a real limiting factor, right? It's not can I break that off the floor. It's going to be, can I grip it? Can I hold it through the lockout, right? That's going to be the real key for me in the long term. So all I can do is continue to work on those things and know what tends to be my weakest link. And it tends to be my weakest link no matter what I do, right? It always tends to be where I'm limited at. I've always been strong at the deadlift, the ability to move weight and to move it fast. So, again, grip is really going to be a big deal. So we'll continue to work on that moving forward, make it a priority. So for my supplemental work here, of course, belt squats, because the belt squats really carry over tremendously to my back squat, right? That's going to be the key to that. Again, it also helps with my deadlift speed off the floor. It helps with just overall lower body development. So I'm continuing to push that up. I'm happy with that. I'm at a point where the progress is going to go a little slow from there because they're becoming challenging, but I feel like I can keep working on it. It's just going to be chipping away at getting stronger on that belt squat. And by stronger, meaning what can I do for sets of 10, right? And trying to get to a reasonable depth while doing so. And that's also the tricky part, is trying to find a foot placement that lets me get deep. It's helped since I moved that bar out of the middle and I'm able to just use my free body to move it wherever I need to. That helps a lot. And of course, it avoids cheating in the bottom, so it puts more tension on me into those lengthened positions, which will help the quads quite a bit. Noticing my quads feel like they're coming back up. And then everything else is posterior chain. So I'm pushing the glute ham raises. I'm keeping the volume low. I'm treating the glute ham raise like I treat my upper body exercises. A lot of times it's like, let's come in and get 2 quality sets. Because we hit those deadlifts. And it's the same thing with the quads. That set of squats and that set of deadlifts are quad and adductor exercises. 3 good sets after that of these puts me at 5. 5 quality work sets done twice a week. That's 10 sets. We're in that volume sweet spot. Okay, so everything else is posterior chain, trying to push progression on those glute ham raises get stronger. Sets of 8 is kind of in that PR territory for me using a 25-pound plate. So we'll keep working that up. Let's see if we can get those up to 12 reps. Let's see if we can eventually get to using a 45-pound plate. That would probably translate into substantial deadlift PR potential again, depending upon if the upper body can stabilize it and I can grip it. Then, of course, everything is reverse hypers after that. These are done real quick at the very end, 30, 45 seconds between sets, because, again, this is a nice lightweight for me. But, again, bringing that work density in gives me a lot of pump into that lower back. Blood flow, again, works the whole posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, erectors. There's even some grip training benefits a little bit to this, but I never would rely on it for my grip strength. It's just a nice little added, hey, there's some extra grip here. Because for me, I tend to be very strong relative to my grip in terms of posterior chain, so it's just not enough for me. But we could argue that there's substantial carryover for some people. So again, I always like to finish up with these. And the overall volumes on the lower body is fairly low, mainly because the tonnage gets real high on those peak sets. When I start doing 3, 4, 5 reps, with the weight we're using, that's a lot of workload. That has a hypertrophic response in and of itself. So then it's just like, we just need to hit what's that minimum volume that we need to see an adaptation. And as long as we're seeing that and we see some progression over time, we're in a good place, because my lower body strength is already largely elite. My deadlift is elite, not just for my age, but for any age. So we add what we can. Any adaptation is beneficial at this point, but we've got to recover from it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.